So hey guys, today we're going to look at the Mortal Bushi Mourns the Mortal Body. And I honestly don't think this card really has much of a use. But what this card does is essentially just two things. All monsters in your graveyard become warrior monsters, so unlike something like a zombie world, this only affects yourself, or Clockwork Knights, which also affects your opponent. Yeah, just yourself. All monsters in your graveyard and yours alone become warrior monsters. Once per turn during the end phase, so for some reason this effect is soft once per turn, so if we had multiple the Mortal Bushi Mourns the Mortal Bodies, we'd be able to use this multiple times during the end phase, I suppose. You can destroy all monsters you control, which is actually a useless effect. Like, well, why would we want this? What does this do for us? So, card art looks pretty neat, I guess. And this guy actually reminds me of some other card, but I'm not 100% sure what card it was, but it's probably a vanilla monster. If we go to like normal zombie, I think there's a guy that looks kind of like him. Armored zombie, perhaps? Maybe. Is that it or anything else? Yeah, not sure. I mean, armor-wise, it's the same type of armor, but doesn't look that alike. So, yeah. What can we do with Immortal Bushi Mourns the Mortal Body? Well, the first effect might be useful for something. So, if we have Durendal's effect says here, if this card is sent to the graveyard because the equipped monster is sent to the graveyard, you can target one level 5 or lower fire warrior monster in your graveyard, special summon it. Also, you cannot special summon monsters for the rest of this turn except for warrior monsters. So, where this would be useful with Immortal Bushi Mourns the Mortal Body is that this would turn your non-warrior monsters into warrior monsters. And I'm not 100% sure in which case you would want these monsters, but if we were using Snake Eye monsters to make a Soul Day, then we could use this to bring back a guy from the graveyard. And then I'll have to check, because I think it was Ricardetto, right? Infernoble. Ricardetto. Ricardetto has this effect to special summon one level 4 or lower fire warrior monster from your hand as a tuner. And then you can target one level 4 or lower fire warrior monster in your graveyard, except for Infernoble Knight Ricardetto. Special summon it. So I guess technically this would be really weird, but if we were to make Herald of the Arclight, we would be able to use Ricardetto effect to just more or less keep summoning it back. And I think there's some recycling in Infernoble, so that'd be like kind of dumb, honestly, but it's something you can do, I guess. So I think that's an alright idea, but for the most part, this is the most useful effect out of the two. So the issue I have with this effect is it's only during the end phase. Honestly, if it wasn't only during the end phase, this would be a lot better. So once per turn during the end phase, you can destroy all monsters you control. So this effect is mostly useless. There's only one specific usage for it, and it's not even that good. Like, yeah, just straight up. So if we look at monsters that want to destroy themselves, we have Unchained. And, you know, like, technically it could be good to destroy your Sarama, but at the same point, at the same time, right? All of your Unchained guys, like, you have a billion different Unchained guys that can pop, and different ways to pop. Like, Unchained Soul Lord of Yama actually can pop any monster you control or any card you control if a card you control is destroyed by battle or card effect. So if I wanted to pop back row, for example, for whatever reason, I would be able to do so after Yama gets triggered by something, which is pretty wild. And if I wanted to destroy a back row in another way, we have Unchained Soul of Sharvara, which can do so. We also have Unchained Abomination, Wailing of the Unchained Souls, so we can target all of our we can target our own cards with these guys. We have Escape of the Unchained, which is also able to do it. And then we also have, on top of all of these guys, we still have Rakea, which can pop our own cards. But this one Fiend locks us. This one also sort of Fiend locks us. but not as bad of a Fiendlock, I would say. So yeah, with decks that kind of destroy themselves, I think that's a pretty useless effect because we already do it. So not really that cracked, eh? But all right, there's one usage. So let's say our opponent gives us, uh, let's go with the example of yugioh. It doesn't really matter what it is exactly, but let's see if we can find yugioh. All right, there it is. So if our opponent gives us yugioh, we get locked and we cannot summon monsters or normal set monsters. So that includes special summoning, normal summoning, setting, tribute summons. None of those are doable with yugioh on our field. But if we destroyed this card and sent this to the graveyard, this would special summon to our opponent's field and be kind of annoying. But the Mortal Bushi was the Mortal Body. Let's just say instead it was Gimmick Puppet Nightmare that we destroyed to get off our field. Well, sure, we destroyed it, but it was during the end phase, so we can't play after destroying uh, the monster. In fact, you could argue this is a negative because now our opponent doesn't even have to like out the guy themselves. And how were we given yugioh exactly to begin with? Well, I'll tell you how. If our opponent is playing branded, they summoned it off of Albion, which they can just do again next turn. So, oh, what did this really do for you? Actually, nothing. Then that's what it did for you. And the Infernoble cards, uh, the I guess it's worth mentioning that it only allows you to, for the most part, bring back. Well, a lot of these cards they only allow you to bring back like Fire Warrior monsters, like with Durandal specifically. So if we wanted to have a warrior water monster, in this case, it might not originally be a warrior monster, just originally water, then we can't bring it back with Durandal either. So can't really think of any other like interesting usages. If it made monsters, even if it were only our monsters on the field, into warriors, that would be a little bit more useful, allowing us to make Isolde with a lot more different things, I guess, which is moderately useful at least. This I just can't really see having that good of a usage. Why do we want our monsters in the graveyard to become warrior monsters? Indeed, I have no idea. I don't think there are that many cards that can like do a monster reborn if you specifically have a warrior in the graveyard. So yeah, Immortal Bushiborns. This card sucks, and I can't really think of a way to redeem it. But if you guys can, let me know in the comments below what you think this card might be able to do. So yeah, this is just the legacy card. So yeah, it'll take a while for me to pull three, but if there's something interesting, I might try it. So yeah, that's all I got for you guys today, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.